Husband humiliates his wife during the wedding party. Disgusting fat woman. I cheated on you. She decided to take revenge. Hello. Welcome. Enjoy, subscribe, and activate notifications. The wedding anniversary celebration of Amelia and Charles was at its peak, filled with laughter and the clinking of glasses. The decorations were mesmerizing, with golden and silver balloons gently swaying beneath the sparkling lights, while a breathtaking cake adorned with flowers awaited its moment. Amelia, glowing in her elegant red dress, felt like the happiest woman in the world. She danced and chatted animatedly with friends and family, everyone celebrating a decade of love and companionship. "You look stunning, Amelia!" exclaimed a friend, raising her glass in a toast. "The best partner Charles could ever have." "Thank you. I'm so happy all of you are here," replied Amelia, her heart warmed by the positive energy around her. She glanced at Charles, who was engaged in conversation with a group of friends, and smiled. He looked back at her with an expression that seemed filled with love, making her feel even more special. However, the evening took an unexpected turn when, in a sudden moment of anger, Charles stood up and, loud enough for everyone to hear, declared, "I can't hide it any longer. I've been with another woman, Amelia, for months now. I've been living a lie." The silence that followed was deafening, the laughter replaced by murmurs of shock and disbelief. Amelia stood frozen, her smile fading as Charles's words echoed in her mind. Tears began to well up in her eyes, and a wave of humiliation washed over her like a dark cloud. She looked around, seeing the faces of friends and family transform into expressions of pity and astonishment. What was meant to be a celebration had turned into a nightmare. "Charles," Amelia managed to whisper, but her voice was shaky. She felt helpless and exposed, as if all her hopes and dreams had been shattered in an instant. With an automatic gesture, she began to walk away from the crowd, feeling suffocated by the curious and sympathetic stares. "How could he do this to me?" she thought as her legs carried her away from the scene. When she finally arrived home alone, the emotions overwhelmed her. Amelia broke down in tears, her body trembling with pain and despair. Anxiety and depression began to settle in like shadows, creeping into every corner of her mind. She remembered the happy moments she had shared with Charles, the promises made, and the dreams they had dreamed together. Now it all seemed like a distant echo. "I can't believe this is happening," she murmured to herself as she sank into a sofa. The silence of the house was oppressive, and her heart raced uncontrollably. Tears streamed down her face, and she felt like a stranger in her own life. "Amelia, are you okay?" The voice of her lifelong friend Emma broke into her thoughts. Amelia remembered how Emma had always been by her side, even in the toughest moments, and that gave her a glimmer of hope. "What do I do now?" she asked, allowing herself to be carried away by the darkness. The future that once seemed so promising was now a blank page stained by pain and betrayal. Amelia felt lost, not knowing how to begin again. That night, alone and desolate, she realized that she would need to find a way to move forward, but the idea seemed as distant as the stars in the sky. Amelia, still reeling from Charles's brutal betrayal, sat in a cozy cafe, her hands trembling slightly around the warm cup of tea. The comforting aroma of the drink contrasted with the storm of emotions consuming her. The place was relatively empty, with only a few tables occupied by customers engrossed in their conversations. In a corner, Emma, her lifelong friend, waited with a concerned look. "Amelia, you don't have to go through this alone," Emma said in a soft, encouraging voice. She leaned forward, trying to reach the heart of the friend who seemed so distant. "I'm here for you. Let's talk about what happened." Amelia looked up, her eyes filled with tears. "I don't even know where to start, Emma. It feels like everything has fallen apart. The party, the friends. It was all a nightmare. How could he do this to me?" "It was supposed to be a day of celebration," she said, her voice breaking as she looked away, trying to control the tears threatening to escape. Emma sighed sympathetically and took Amelia's hand in hers. "Life can be incredibly unfair, but you're stronger than you think, and I'll be by your side every step of the way. What do you think about talking to a professional? Maybe a therapist could help you express your feelings and find a way forward." Amelia hesitated. The idea intimidated her. "A therapist? I don't know. It sounds so fragile. I don't want people to think I'm going crazy. It's not weakness. Amelia, it's strength. You're dealing with deep pain, and there's nothing wrong with seeking help. You don't have to face this alone, insisted Emma with a determined expression. Maybe I'll consider it, but what if I can't open up? What if I come out of it even more lost? Amelia murmured, the insecurity evident in every word. Emma smiled gently. That's normal. You don't need to have all the answers now. We'll do it together. Dr. Bernard is great. I've heard a lot of good things about him. If you don't feel comfortable, we can leave, but I really think it could help you. After a few minutes of silence, Amelia took a deep breath, feeling a bit of relief in the pressure on her chest. Okay, I'll try. If you're by my side, maybe I can. Emma's smile lit up her face. Great. Let's schedule an appointment for this week. I promise it'll be the first step toward your recovery. In the days that followed, Amelia allowed herself to reflect on her life. The nights were long and lonely, and every thought of Charles made her feel suffocated. But the idea of seeking help, though terrifying, began to blossom in her mind like a small light. On the appointed day, she found herself with Emma in front of Dr. Bernard's office, her heart racing. Are you ready? Emma asked, noticing Amelia's anxiety. I don't know. I'm so scared, she confessed, looking at the closed door as if it were a portal to the unknown. Remember, you're not alone. I'll be here waiting for you. Just take the first step, Emma encouraged, holding her friend's hand. With one last deep sigh, Amelia pushed the door open and entered. The atmosphere was warm, with comfortable furniture and soft lighting. Dr. Bernard greeted her with a gentle smile, and as Amelia began to speak, the words flowed in a way she never imagined possible. The therapist listened attentively, asking questions that helped her reflect on her emotions and experiences. You need to allow yourself to feel this pain. Amelia, it's a process and every step counts, Dr. Bernard said in an encouraging tone. No one can rush healing, but you've already taken a big step by being here. With each session, Amelia began to open up more, revealing not only the betrayal but also her deepest fears and insecurities. Meanwhile, Emma remained a rock, always available to listen and offer support. The friendship between them grew stronger every day, and Amelia felt that she was slowly reclaiming a part of herself that had been lost in the whirlwind of betrayal. I never knew talking could be so liberating, Amelia admitted during one of her chats with Emma while they sipped coffee after another session. I never thought I would feel this way, like I'm starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. This is just the beginning, my friend. Every step you take is a step toward your true self, and I'll be here by your side always, Emma replied with a look full of love and understanding. Amelia's journey was just beginning, but now, with Emma's support and Dr. Bernard's guidance, she felt a little stronger against the shadows that once surrounded her. During the therapy sessions, Amelia began to explore the depths of her soul, revealing aspects of herself that she had neglected for years. In one of the consultations, Dr. Bernard, a respected therapist, encouraged her to talk about her passions. Amelia, what did you used to love doing before all this happened? He asked, observing her expression attentively. She hesitated, looking down as if searching for words in a distant place. I used to enjoy drawing clothes. Fashion has always fascinated me, but after getting married, I set it aside. It didn't seem important anymore, she confessed, her voice cracking with the pain of the memory. Why don't you try drawing again? It could be a way to rediscover who you are, Dr. Bernard suggested with an encouraging smile. Amelia felt a spark of hope ignite in her heart at that moment. The idea of returning to her passion seemed not only possible but necessary. In the days that followed, Amelia began to search for pencils, paper, and paints that had been stored away in a dusty box at the back of her closet. As she sat at the table, a wave of nostalgia enveloped her. She started to draw, and each stroke seemed to free her from the shackles of sadness that had imprisoned her. Look, I still have this in me, she whispered to herself as the drawings took shape. These clothes can tell stories. One afternoon, while Amelia was working on a new design, Emma, her lifelong friend, unexpectedly appeared. Hey, Amelia, what are you up to? She asked with a smile that lit up the room as she saw the paper scattered on the table. Emma's eyes sparkled. You started drawing again? That's amazing. Amelia smiled shyly, But soon insecurity took over. It's just a hobby, nothing more. I don't know if I'm good enough for this, she admitted, looking at her own drawings with a mix of pride and doubt. You've always been talented. Remember, fashion is about expressing yourself, not being perfect. And honestly, I'd love to see these creations come to life, Emma said, placing a hand on her friend's shoulder, offering support. Amelia's confidence began to grow, and she decided it was time to turn that passion into something more. Over the following weeks, the two friends met frequently. Emma, who was also facing her own insecurities in a turbulent relationship, found a refuge in Amelia. I don't know what to do with my love life. Amelia, sometimes I feel trapped, Emma confided in a cafe while they sipped coffee together. I understand, Emma, but maybe, just like I'm rediscovering my passion, you can find something that makes you happy too. Let's support each other, Amelia suggested, realizing that the bond between them was strengthening. Thus, conversations about fashion and dreams transformed into concrete plans. Inspired by her own journey of rediscovery, Amelia began to draw not just clothes, but a collection that celebrated the diversity of bodies. Imagine if I opened a boutique that celebrated the beauty of all shapes. It would be amazing, Amelia said, her eyes shining with enthusiasm. Emma, excited, responded, That's a wonderful idea. You have to do it. I'll be with you every step of the way. Together, they began to sketch plans for the boutique, further strengthening their friendship and connection. Amelia's journey was just beginning, but for the first time in months, she felt like she had a purpose. With Emma's unwavering support, Amelia was determined not only to rediscover her passion for fashion, but also to create a space where all women felt valued and accepted. Let's make this happen, Amelia said with determination. Their friendship will become the driving force behind a new era where every step will be an act of self-love and overcoming. Amelia was radiant on the day her boutique opened, a dream that had started to take shape after the collapse of her marital life. The space, located on a charming street, exuded a cozy and vibrant atmosphere, decorated with soft colors that celebrated the diversity of bodies. The boutique was not just a place to sell clothes. It was a refuge where every woman felt valued, regardless of her size or shape. As Amelia organized the final details before the inauguration, the local community began to arrive. Friends and acquaintances, as well as new faces, entered the space, admiring creations that reflected not only her talent, but also her internal struggle. The sound of lively conversations and laughter filled the air, but deep down, Amelia felt a coldness in her stomach. It was a moment she had awaited with anxiety, and the nerves almost paralyzed her. "Amelia, you look incredible," exclaimed Emma, her lifelong friend, as she entered the boutique. The two shared a warm embrace. "Look at this. You did a fantastic job." "Thank you, Emma. I don't know how I managed to get here." Amelia responded with a shy smile, but her eyes shone with a newfound determination. "All of this seems like a dream. It's a dream you created, and you deserve every second of it," Emma encouraged her. "Women need to see what you're doing. You're an inspiration." Amelia felt a warmth in her heart. Although she was still dealing with the scars of Charles's betrayal, Emma's support helped her rise again. As soon as the doors opened, a crowd of people gathered at the entrance, and the buzz grew as women explored the boutique. While Amelia greeted the visitors, she couldn't help but notice that some of them were visibly moved by seeing clothes that celebrated every curve and shape. "Look at this blouse. It's perfect for you," said an older woman to her friend, holding up a piece specifically designed to highlight the beauty of fuller figures. "Did you really make this?" "It's beautiful," commented another woman, admiring a dress that had a perfect fit. Amelia smiled, feeling that her work was finally making a difference. As the hours passed, the atmosphere became increasingly vibrant. Amelia felt as if she were floating, absorbing the joy. System. The response was cut off due to length constraints. Below is the continuation of the provided text, fully punctuated and formatted into short paragraphs, ensuring no lines or words are missed. The response picks up exactly where the previous one ended and completes the formatting of the entire provided text. Joy around her. However, at the same time, she couldn't ignore the presence of Charles, who, though not physically present, still lingered in her mind like a shadow. She remembered how he had tried to belittle her dreams and his brutal betrayal. But on this day, the strength of her new purpose was greater. Amelia, you're killing it. Look at how many people showed up. Emma interrupted her, pulling her to dance a little in the middle of the boutique, where laughter and conversations resonated. At first hesitant, Amelia eventually let go, allowing the music and joy to envelop her. You were right, Emma. This is everything I ever dreamed of, Amelia said as she danced. I finally feel free. It's just the beginning, my friend. You'll see, Emma replied, winking at her. The world needs more Amelias. As the celebration continued, some women began to share their stories. A young woman, with tears in her eyes, recounted how she had always struggled with negative body image. I never thought I could wear something so beautiful. You've really changed my life, she said, touching the dress that Amelia had designed. You're beautiful just the way you are. I'm so happy you feel that way, Amelia responded, her heart tight with emotion. She realized that her boutique was not just a business. It was a welcoming space where everyone could find strength and support. That night, Instagram began to explode with posts about the boutique. Women shared photos, writing messages of empowerment and acceptance. Amelia felt that she was building something bigger than herself. She was helping other women rediscover themselves. This is what I've always wanted, she thought with a smile forming on her face. With Emma's unwavering support and the new purpose she had found, Amelia realized that her journey was just beginning. You are an inspiration, Amelia, Emma said when she found her later. We're just beginning to change the world. Amelia smiled, knowing she had the strength to continue her fight against society's imposed beauty standards. At that moment, she was not just a survivor, but a warrior, ready to conquer every new challenge life presented to her. Amelia was at her boutique, a space that had become both a refuge and a symbol of her new life after the collapse she faced on her 10th wedding anniversary. The soft light filtering through the windows illuminated the mannequins adorned with her creations, each one reflecting the diversity and beauty of female bodies. However, the tranquility of the environment was abruptly interrupted when Charles, her ex-husband, stormed into the space. Look who thinks she's a big designer now, Charles sneered, his voice dripping with sarcasm as he approached, his eyes casting a disdainful look over the garments Amelia had lovingly created. Do you really think you can keep this up, Amelia? Amelia paused, feeling her heart race. His presence, a living reminder of what she had left behind, was a challenge she was not willing to ignore. Charles, I'm not here to listen to your critiques. This place is mine now. I built it with a lot of effort and passion, she replied, trying to maintain her composure. You're nothing more than an illusion, he retorted with a cynical smile. People will get tired of this soon. You'll be alone again just like you left me. The tension in the air was palpable, and Amelia felt her blood boil. She was no longer the woman he knew. With Emma and Bastian's help, she had found strength within herself that she never knew she possessed. I'm not your property anymore, Charles. You can't control my life or my career. I'm not the woman you destroyed, she declared, her voice firm. Charles, surprised by her attitude, hesitated for a brief moment. Do you really think you can defy me? I still have contacts that can ruin your reputation, he threatened, trying to intimidate her. I'm not afraid of you. What you don't understand is that I've already faced things much worse than you can imagine. Your opinion doesn't affect me anymore, Amelia responded, feeling the adrenaline surge through her veins. You can try to bring me down, but the truth is, you have no power over me. At that moment, Bastian entered the boutique, sensing the tension in the air. He looked at Charles, who stood with an expression of rage. What's going on here? Bastian asked in a firm, protective voice. I was just having a conversation with my ex-wife, Charles said, trying to keep his composure, but his irritation was evident. If you really cared, you wouldn't have done what you did, Bastian replied, moving closer to Amelia and placing a gentle hand on her shoulder as a sign of support. She's stronger than you've ever been, Charles, and you have no place here. With Bastian's presence, Amelia felt even more empowered. She knew she was not alone. The life I'm building now is much more important than you can imagine. I'm surrounded by people who truly care about me, and you won't ruin that, she affirmed, each word laden with determination. Charles, Realizing he was losing control of the situation, cast a look of contempt at the two of them. "You'll regret this, Amelia. I'll do everything I can to bring you down," he threatened before turning and leaving the boutique, his words still lingering in the air. Amelia took a deep breath, tried to regain her composure. "I'm not going to let him affect me. I'm stronger now," she said, looking at Bastion and Emma, who had entered and were standing by her side, ready to offer unconditional support. "You have every right to fight for this, Amelia. He can't take anything away from you because you've already risen," declared Emma, her gaze full of admiration and respect for her friend. With her heart still racing, Amelia smiled at her friends. "Thank you for being here. Together, we'll face anything that comes," she affirmed, feeling a wave of gratitude and hope. She knew that no matter what Charles tried to do, with Bastion and Emma's support, she was ready to fight for her place in the world. The boutique, her new life, and her self-confidence were all she needed to keep moving forward. After a successful event at the boutique, with a vibrant energy of the place still pulsed and the walls decorated with Amelia's creations, Bastion and Amelia found themselves in a cozy corner, away from the hustle and bustle of the guests. The soft lights cast a golden glow over them, creating an intimate and welcoming atmosphere. Bastion, with a nervous smile, looked into Amelia's eyes, whose cheeks were slightly flushed. "Amelia," he began, his voice slightly trembling, "I can't hide it any longer. I felt something special for you for a long time." He hesitated, as if the words were caught in his throat, but the determination in his gaze was undeniable. Amelia felt her heart race. She had always known there was something more between them, something that transcended friendship. "Bastion, I feel the same way," she responded, her voice breaking with emotion. "But I don't know if I'm ready for this after everything that happened with Charles." "You don't need to worry about him," Bastion interrupted gently, taking her hand. "We're a team now. We'll face this together." Bastion's words brought a new sense of relief to Amelia. She looked at him, seeing not just a friend but a true partner, someone who believed in her potential and supported her unconditionally. "You're right. Together we're stronger," she said, with a smile lighting up her face. The following days were filled with moments that solidified the bond between them. Amelia found comfort in Bastion's presence, who had become a pillar of support in her life amidst the trials and challenges imposed by Charles, who was still trying to destabilize them. Their connection grew stronger, and their conversations became deeper and more meaningful. One evening, while working on new designs in the boutique, Bastion brought up a topic that worried him. "Amelia, do you think Charles will give up easily? He doesn't seem like the type of person who accepts losing," he said, observing her with a serious look. Amelia sighed, tired of the memories of her ex-husband. "I know he won't stop, but I've learned not to let fear paralyze me. I'm stronger now, and I won't let him control my life again." "That's right." Bastion encouraged her with a smile of approval on his lips. "You're an incredible woman, and everyone here sees it. Whatever he does, we'll face it together." And so, their friendship blossomed into a love that seemed undeniable, as if they were always destined to find each other. Amelia, now full of dreams and hopes, began to imagine a future alongside Bastion, where the pain of the past could finally be left behind. One sunny afternoon, as they walked through the park, discussing plans for boutique, Bastion suddenly stopped and, looking into her eyes, said, "Amelia, I want to be more than just your friend. I want to support you in everything, and I want you to know that you can count on me for everything." She smiled, a genuine smile that radiated happiness. "I want that too, Bastion. You make me feel alive again. I didn't know it was still possible to love after everything I've been through." Her words resonated in her heart, and the certainty that they could build something beautiful together began to take shape. Amelia was ready to open her heart, not only to the challenges life presented, but also to the love that was blossoming between her and Bastion. With this new love, Amelia not only rediscovered her own strength, but also found an unwavering ally. Together, they formed an invincible team, ready to face any storm life might bring, confident that true happiness was within reach. Amelia found herself at a crucial point in her life. After months of struggle and rediscovery, she was finally ready to take a significant step. On a sunny day, She and Emma met in a cafe, the atmosphere charged with expectation. The lights of the establishment flickered softly as the aroma of fresh coffee filled the air. Amelia, with a distant look, nervously moved her cup. Emma, sitting across from her, sensed her friend's hesitation. Amelia, you know it's time to move forward, don't you? Emma asked, her tone gentle but firm. I've been thinking about it a lot. What do you think about creating a mentoring program, a space for women who, like us, have faced challenges and managed to rise again? Amelia suggested, looking at Emma with eyes shining with a mix of fear and hope. Do you really think I'm capable of this? What if I fail? What if women don't connect with my story? Amelia asked, her voice trembling. You've been through so much and come out stronger. Your story is inspiring, and there are many women who need to hear it. Let's help each other. Imagine how many lives we could touch, Emma responded, encouraging her. The idea began to take shape in Amelia's mind. The memories of her journey, from the collapse on her wedding anniversary to the opening of her boutique, surfaced, and she felt a wave of determination. All right, let's do it. I want to help other women find themselves, just as I did. The two friends dedicated themselves to planning the launch event for the program. They met several times, crafting a schedule and thinking of activities that could engage other women. Amelia felt she was reconnected with her essence, and every step they took together reinforced the bond they had built. Finally, the day of the event arrived. The venue was decorated with vibrant flowers and posters promoting self-love and acceptance. Amelia was nervous, but the excitement of the crowd made her feel alive. The women began to arrive, and Amelia greeted them with a broad smile. Emma was by her side, sharing looks of complicity. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're here to celebrate the strength of each of you and to learn from one another, Amelia announced, her voice firm and filled with emotion. The event began to flow, and the women shared their stories, laughter, and tears. Amelia felt she was in the right place, making a difference. However, during one of the testimonials, Charles, who had become a shadow of her past, suddenly appeared, causing commotion among the guests. Look at the star of the event, he shouted with a sarcastic smile. How do you feel, Amelia? What if I told you that this entire new life is just a farce? The atmosphere grew tense, and Amelia felt her heart race, but she took a deep breath and turned to him. Charles, you no longer have power over me. I'm not the woman you knew. I've grown, and today I'm here to help other women, while you're still sinking in your own mediocrity. The murmur of the crowd increased, and Emma, realizing the situation, intervened. You have no right to be here, Charles. What you did was painful, but now we're here to celebrate our achievements, not to listen to your insults. The tension was palpable, but at that moment, Amelia felt strong. She turned to the women surrounding her and said, "This is a perfect example of why we need to protect and support each other. We can't let people from the past belittle us. Together, we're stronger." Charles, realizing he was losing control of the situation, made a final effort to discredit Amelia, but the crowd, now united, began to turn against him. The atmosphere of empowerment was contagious, and the women started shouting words of support to Amelia, leaving Charles increasingly isolated. With renewed courage, Amelia realized she was ready to face any adversity. The decision to create the mentoring program was just the beginning of a new phase in her life, and she was determined not to let anyone stop her. The strength she had found within herself was unbreakable, and with the support of Emma and the new friends she had made, Amelia was ready to embrace her future, no matter the challenges that might arise. The great turning point in Amelia's life unfolded at an event that promised to be a milestone in her journey of overcoming. The air was charged with anticipation and hope, with women gathering to celebrate not only the new phase of Amelia's life, but also the collective strength they had found in their shared experiences. Amelia was radiant, surrounded by her friends and supporters, including Emma and Bastian, who had helped her build a new life after Charles's brutal betrayal. As voices mingled in laughter and lively conversations, Charles, who should have been far from Amelia's world, decided to show up. The tension in the air was palpable as he entered the venue. Amelia, feeling a coldness in her stomach, exchanged worried glances with Emma, who promptly intervened. Amelia, stay calm. You're stronger than he thinks, Emma whispered, holding her friend's hand firmly. Bastian, on the other hand, positioned himself next to Amelia like a protective wall. Charles approached the microphone with a cynical smile, and the room quickly fell silent, all eyes fixed on him. Ah, how lovely to see so many women united around such an inspiring cause, he began, his voice dripping with sarcasm. But don't be fooled. This boutique is nothing more than a facade to hide the truth about Amelia. We all know who she really is. The crowd murmured and the tension mounted. Amelia felt her heart race. This wasn't going to end well, she thought. But before she could get lost in her insecurities, Emma, with a courage Amelia admired, stepped onto the stage. Charles, I can't let you continue hurting Amelia or any of us. You have no idea what she's been through and how much she's grown. Emma's determination brought applause from the room, creating a supportive environment Amelia had never experienced before. And by the way, Emma continued with renewed audacity, I have here evidence of your abusive actions. You can't keep manipulating and threatening people like you used to. She held up a folder full of documents and photos that evidenced Charles's abusive behavior. Charles's face twisted in rage, and he shook his head as if trying to free himself from an invisible web. No, you can't do this. This is ridiculous, he shouted, his voice echoing in the room, but it was too late. People began to distance themselves from him, forming a protective circle around Amelia and her friends. You're no longer welcome here, Charles, Bastian said, his voice firm and clear. He took a step forward, confronting Charles with a presence that made it clear he was not afraid. The situation quickly escalated when Charles, in a final act of desperation, lunged toward Amelia, his eyes filled with hatred. You'll never get rid of me, he shouted. But before he could get close, he was stopped by Bastian and others present. The police were called, and within minutes, Charles was taken into custody. The silence that followed was filled with a sense of relief and freedom. Amelia, still in shock, felt a wave of emotions wash over her. She was finally free from the man who had tried to control her and dismantle her self-esteem. As soon as Charles left the venue, the room erupted in applause and cheers of support. Amelia felt tears streaming down her face. Not of sadness, but of deep gratitude and liberation. I did it, she thought. I really did it. Emma hugged her, and Bastian wrapped an arm around her protectively, both sharing in the joy of the moment. Amelia knew that the fight against beauty's standards and the ghosts of the past was not yet over, but in that instant, she felt victorious. From now on, I'm the owner of my story, she declared with determination. The future seemed bright and promising, with Amelia finally allowed herself to dream again. With Bastian by her side, she was ready to embrace life, friendship, and perhaps a love that had always been there, waiting to bloom. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the story. I'm sure the next video appearing on your screen will also move you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. A big kiss and see you in the next story.